Why is Karnataka hitting brakes on EV tax exemption? Let's try and understand what is behind this, because there is a lot of murmur around this. Now, in the midst of the West Asia war, even as India has been ramping up electric mobility amid fears of a likely fuel price hike, an electric car in Karnataka may soon get costlier, with the state government preparing to withdraw 100% road tax exemption, which is currently given for battery-operated cars. However, defending the move, Transport Minister Ramalinga Reddy said that the tax will apply only to new vehicles and shall not apply retrospectively. But then there is some good news, and which is that for electric two-wheelers, tax exemptions shall continue. The proposal, which was part of Karnataka Motor Vehicles Taxation Amendment Bill 2026, was passed in the latest legislature session and is awaiting the governor's assent to finally become a law. Now let's look at how it shall impact cars in different categories. Electric cars priced up to rupees 10 lakh could attract a 5% tax, and those in the rupees 10 lakh to 25 lakhs bracket shall be taxed at 8%. However, cars which are priced above 25 lakhs are already subject to a 10% tax, and there is no change in the tax matrix. Now, for perspective, a 20 lakh car would attract 1.6 lakhs in tax. One of Karnataka government's reasoning, amongst several others, is that it needs to badly increase and stabilize its revenues, faced as it is with rising expenditure on its flagship guarantee schemes. For 26-27, the Transport Department was given a target of 15,500 crores, rupees 500 crores higher than the previous fiscal. The government then estimated that taxing electric cars could generate 259 crores annually. Does that sound very, very logical? We'll ask the experts, of course. The rollback actually reverses a nearly decades-long policy stance. If you remember, in 2016, Karnataka had fully exempted EVs from road tax to position itself as a leading electric mobility hub. The latest change comes at a time when consumers are increasingly evaluating a shift to EVs, driven in part by rising fuel costs amid global geopolitical uncertainties. And this change has raised concerns for several EV manufacturers in Karnataka, as the state is not only the fourth largest vehicle market, but was also on the anvil of being developed as a major EV hub. Let's debate, let's get an expert to talk about how this is going to impact both the markets as well as users of EV vehicles. We shall then go to the political aspect of this story. But first up, Chetan Shivaram, EV and automobile expert, who is joining us from Bengaluru. Thank you so much, Chetan Shivaram, for sparing us the time. What do you think of this entire move, as it were?
Well, thank you for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Well, let me just say that I don't think this is a very good move, purely because it is a policy change, and or the entire world is moving towards EV, and people are trying to reduce the cost, and bring down the use of crude oil and oil by itself, right? So bringing this kind of a change in terms of taxation will only discourage people to buy new EV vehicles, which I don't think is a very good move.
Something, if you look at it logically from your prism, it was a policy decision and made a decade ago, 2016. Then and also we have seen several, there were push given by the Karnataka government, several governments, to say that we will create special hubs for this, we need to encourage this, and this was a very forward looking policy, Chetan Shivaram. Now, some are saying it is because they have a big crater in their expenditure, they have to shore up revenues and therefore they are doing this. But someone will say, why
That's
this?
correct.
Yeah, you said
That's correct.
that's
So,
correct. Yeah, go on.
yeah, so I believe that more than anything else, this is a policy change, which means tomorrow, just to bring in revenue into the government, it does not mean they're going to stop stuff like, say, solar panels. As of right now, they've given us exemption and a lot of benefits if we use solar. Tomorrow, just because the government wants revenue, imagine they say that solar power is not going to be exempted from any kind of taxation. That's going to discourage a lot of people who are actually looking at that. So that's the same thing with EVs as well, right? And if you actually look at the EV market in Karnataka today, it has grown exponentially. And to suddenly cut that, I think, is not a very good move on behalf of the government.
would say that they are being prudent. I mean, I do not know. I mean, they are fiscally being prudent and therefore they are doing it. But the point is that it's such bad timing, Chetan. I mean, the world and particularly us, we've had a cascading domino effect of this. There is no LPG gas cylinder at home. In Bengaluru, restaurants have shut down. Now the auto rickshaw drivers are also kind of queuing up, and there are, Sheshadripuram, I heard there are boards put up, no fuel, no auto, nothing like that. But don't you think it is just extremely bad timing? But if you ask the government, they said, hey, we did not know there is going to be a crisis in West Asia. But very bad timing. Would you agree?
100%. But I also think we are dealing with the government, which means now when there is a crisis, they should have rolled this back and said, okay, we'll put this on the back burner and look at, this entire policy in some time. Because what's happening around us is a lot bigger than, bringing in that revenue into the government right now. That's my personal take.
Right. But do you think that, the two-wheelers have been exempted? At least that seems to be a saving grace, and, thank God for small mercies, as it were.
Well, with the population in India, yes, we sell a lot more two-wheelers than we do the four-wheelers, undoubtedly. That is a saving grace. But I should say that I would still want them to take a look at the people, because at the end of the day, on a two-wheeler, only two people can travel. But as in a four-wheeler, you can carpool and have four people travel in it, which means you're saving so much more energy and space on the road.
They're also saying that the taxation is much lesser if you compare Karnataka with other states. I mean, does that really wash? I mean, because it has the highest road tax, I mean, if I'm not wrong. So do you think they said, hey, compare us with others? They are doing, I mean, they are also, it's exorbitant there. At least we are not like that. Do you think that, is it apple to apple? I think it's not. It's apple to pear.
Absolutely. I mean, let me put it this way. A sin is a sin. Okay, whether it's a small one or a big one, it's still the same. So we can't go ahead, compare ourselves with others. You should also look at the size of our state or our city in particular in Bangalore. If you see the amount of vehicles that are being sold on a daily basis as compared to other cities is not that high. So no, I don't think it's a great comparison.
Also, Chetan, I mean, EV manufacturers, I mean, I do not know if you've been speaking to some of them, tell us if you have been, but they say that this kind of a thing is going to really slow down our production and slow down our plans. I mean, you do a pipeline, right? I mean, you're not saying that, oh, I'm selling 2 cars next year. It's an annual pipeline that they work on. They say, what do we do now? Because, of course, retrospectively, Ramalinga Reddy said it will not be levied. But then for every new vehicle, this is going to come at a cost. And what are they going to do? Because they are also part of the economic pipeline, as it were, of the state.
Absolutely. I mean, any manufacturer for that matter is not going to be thinking short term. They are thinking on a very, very long term basis. So their production lines to the increase of production of vehicles year on year will continue. Now, all that suddenly comes to a standstill because of this new policy, which means their entire planning also goes for a complete six. So, yeah, I mean, they have to rethink about what they're doing. And this also is very scary for a person or an entrepreneur to set up something here in Bangalore, knowing that, hey, what if the policy changes tomorrow? Unless they give us a guarantee of a minimum so many years that the policy would not change.
Yeah, but what happens to green mobility? Do you think, Chetan, Shivram, they could have done something else, or do you think that, what do you do? I mean, e-vehicles happen to be the fall guys, as it were.
No, this is, like you very well said, the EVs are taking the fall, which I don't think is the right thing. There are so many other things which can actually be taxed, which, would not really affect the environment. And here we're saying, let's tax something which is actually helping the environment.
That note, Chetan, Shivram, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you indeed. And now let's look at the political aspect of this. Satya Prakash ji has joined us, Vice Chairperson and Spokesperson for the KPCC, and Ashok K.M. Gowda, who's Spokesperson for the BJP. Namaskara to both of you. Thank you for sparing the time. Tell me something, Satya. As I understand it, your state, I mean, Karnataka was supposed to be a green mobility hub. It was very forward looking. We said e-vehicles are something which are futuristic. Now there is a reasoning that because there is a big hole in the revenues or expenditure has increased because of the guarantee scheme, you're going to shore up 259 crores if you do this for all the new e-vehicles, four-wheelers, let me also say very clearly, to be bought. What is the logic? If you have one, Satya?
What is 259 crores to 58,000 crores that we are spending
Right.
for guarantees? So don't bring guarantees for everything. Guarantees is a social, scheme that is going to benefit nearly 5 to 6 crores of for population. See, this is a policy decision. Already there was a tax holiday for 10 years. EV market is slowly maturing. Now, which is the segment that we have taxed? It is not the lower end segment, which most of the lower middle class people and poor people buy. We are taxing the higher segment, the EV cars, which range between 10 lakhs to anywhere between 60 lakhs or 80 lakhs. And this market, EV market, is slowly maturing, especially in Bangalore. If you see, already EV constitute to nearly 5% of the total vehicle population. Now look at the government scenario. Government is wholly dependent, mostly dependent, including the central government, is dependent on taxes on petrol and diesel. And most of the EV vehicles will not use petrol and diesel. That means if Bangalore's population 5% constitutes EV population, that means 5% they will never use petrol and diesel. As the market mature, the government will change its policy. Just imagine tomorrow, if the EV population goes up to around 50 to 60%, and if we don't tax EV vehicles, how will you make up for all the loss that on excise duty, on taxes that we get from petrol and diesel?
Sure, Satya. And
we have to make up some money.
But, sure. But then I've only heard if this happens, if tomorrow that happens, if this is happening, I don't think that, of course you have to work at the futuristic, put a storyboard and say,
futuristic government will always think about the
sure.
future.
But then here I'm not, you said you completely discarded the guarantee reasoning. Absolutely right.
Yeah,
I wanted a spokesperson to say that, but I'm not getting. No, you can't possibly create a green hub, a green mobility hub, and then say what if not that. Today we are staring at a geopolitical emergency. Now that happened. Tomorrow it may not be there, but I'm not for if you look at futuristic, you says tomorrow if the 50%, then you say that poor people. So, 50% of poor people or 60% are not going to buy those cars. Come in. No, now, Satya, this is Ashok's chance. Then I'll come to you. Ashok, you were raising your hand. Ashok, please come in.
You asked me a question.
See, Papa, Satya Prakash has not understood what is the purpose of the government. Purpose of the government is not to make profits. Purpose of the government is not to make money. Purpose of the government is to improve the life of every citizen in this country or a state wherever the government is there. Part one. Part two. The most important thing is Sidramaya says my finance is very strong, and he has tweeted yesterday and even today he has written stating that my finances are strong, and say BJP does not know how to read the economics or the budget. Please, Sidramaya ji, just to raise 259 crores, if you are doing this kind of an act wherein to encourage the people to buy the electrical vehicles, wherein the pollution can be maintained and we can better our pollution. So that is what it is. The agenda should be. Okay, fine. Petroleum earns the taxes. Do you want to support the import and to pay the money to the other countries, or do you want to be self-sustained? What is the agenda of the government? Agenda of the government should be self-sustaining, and that is why BS 2030 happened in 2023. BS 6 was the agenda. So that is the agenda of the central government, and giving solar power or anything else. And unless and until your people, that is Congress people, do not own this, so you are going to tax. This is the agenda. See, what we saw in 2016-17 was the solar plants were promoted by D.K. Shivakumar. And that is why solar energy was promoted as an energy minister by D.K. Shivakumar. Now he does not have any stake in EV machines. And that is why probably is taxing. And when all this kind of things are there, the government does not have any vision towards the future, and government does not understand the economics of this country, and the 17 budget presenter, Budget Brahma Sidramaya, does not understand the import should be reduced and we should be self-dependent and we should help our own people. How can we import petrol? Petrol is not an indigenous material. Petrol, we have to depend on the electrical. Okay, fine. Solar energy is fine, or nuclear energy is fine. Any energy is fine. And when this kind of things are happening, you can charge from the corporate saying that the carbon footprint, even if you are concerned, carbon footprint, Mr. Satya Prakash ji, please understand, carbon footprint, that is where you can tax them, companies. So if they have electrical vehicles, you can tax the companies like that. So please understand, have an agenda, have a focus. And this is not the way to deal with the Karnataka Kannadigas. And you should encourage, in fact, I wanted to change my diesel car to electrical vehicle. So you're going to tax me for that? Am I not a middle class
That is the reason.
Yeah, all right. Okay, Ashok, you talked about sustainability, about futuristic. You can't say that you take one thing from here and put it there and transfer it. That way dilutes our futuristic forward planning. Satya Prakash, please take the floor.
See, yeah, thank you. See, now I know why my friend was talking so, he was so erratic. Just because he wanted to convert from diesel to
please, don't get into personal matters.
See. You should not behave like a gentleman. Yeah. My friend is a rich person. He belongs to 1% rich in the Bangalore. We are not taxing the poor who are taking two-wheelers. My friend doesn't understand and doesn't have basic common sense that even for solar panels also we have to import from China. India is not self-sufficient in solar panels also. This is a policy decision that tomorrow, if all the cars become electric tomorrow, from where will Mr. Modi or any state government get taxes? Do you know how much taxes Modi has collected for the last?
Yeah.
See, you will not give me a chance. You will give free run to the BJP guy. I will just start, but you will come in between. Okay. The amount of tax collected by Modi in the last 12 years, do you know how much of tax he has collected just from petrol and diesel? Forget about Sidramaya government. Tomorrow, if 50% of the total market becomes electric, from where will Modi get money? You tell me this. From where will Modi get money? So, any government which has little common sense will think of the future.
Right.
And today, what we are doing is we are taxing only a segment of that total market.
Satya, I can ask you one question, that what is the answer that you're going to give to EV manufacturers who have made futuristic plans, and also all those hubs that you were creating and building in and around Bengaluru? The people, the person who was about to buy a car costing 25 lakhs anyway, there was a tax, 10 lakhs. I don't think that 10 lakhs people are super rich today. No, they are not. I think we need to get this real. This is the new India, and Karnataka is a very prosperous state. What is your answer to them? That why did you do this? That's what they are interested in. Modi and Mr. Amit Shah, they all want to know, sir, I was going to buy, sir, now in June. And sir, what should I do? Tell me why you have done this.
What percentage of Karnataka has a capacity to buy 25 lakh car?
I asked about 10 lakhs. You are not listening. 10 lakhs. 10 lakhs ki gaadi bhi hai na?
10 lakhs, we are just collecting 5%.
Yeah, but why? They
Just
want to
5%
know.
tax.
Why, sir?
Why? Okay, why are the BJP states collecting?
That's what
Why,
about
madam?
tree?
Why,
What about tree?
madam?
Now you are
why
resorting to
BJP
what about
why
tree?
BJP states
You
are
allege
collecting?
always
Why
others are
Gujarat is
resorting.
collecting?
Give the answer.
What
You are the
answers can I give?
spokesperson, sir.
Why is Modi collecting tax for petrol and diesel?
I'll ask Mr. Modi. Ashok Gowda, come in.
See, he is not understanding. Whenever we are importing, whenever we want to discourage, we tax them. Whenever we want to encourage, we do not tax. So electrical vehicles, we should not be taxing because we want to encourage. And Satya does not understand, when you are buying an electrical vehicle, it's not about no vehicle comes below 10 lakhs. So that means that any car which we are going to buy will be taxed 5%. That is what Satya is agreeing. That part number one. Part number two, whenever we are charging, there is a 60 watt or 70 watt units are required. And meaning to say, the electrical consumption, in domestic consumption, what we do, we take maximum 5 unit consumption,
Right.
5 kV consumption. So meaning to say, when this kind of a 60 or 70 kV when we are charging, when we are taking, for electrical vehicle charging, it can charge in 10 minutes, or 12 minutes, or maximum 20 minutes, depending on the brand of the vehicle. So this kind of things should have been thought, and these are the things which a levy should have been given. Instead of that, they are bothered only about the revenue to the government.
Ashok, but then that is also important, no, Ashok. Revenues have to be showed up. No, you making. I am also wondering, when you created an ecosystem, when you created an ecosystem for green mobility, when you created an ecosystem, Mr. D.K. Shivakumar has spoken about it several times. I have heard Ramalinga Reddy speaking about it several times. Then suddenly to say, all right, tax on this. And there is, and to say that Mr. Modi collection
want to take a bet?
is
Do you want to take a bet?
No, I don't take bets, Ashok. This is the problem.
Even with this taxation, Karnataka will sell the highest number of EV cars.
What is this? Are you? No, this is not a bet. You are challenging.
Take a bet.
You are challenging. Maybe I can't buy that car, and today I am feeling very cheated.
I'll tell you why. Okay. See, whether it is EV vehicles or petrol vehicles or diesel vehicles, they use the same road. This is road tax. Every vehicle uses the road, and for infrastructure development, we need to take money. For a period of 10 years, we have given tax holiday. That doesn't mean tax holiday will be eternal.
But you also levy highest road tax, no?
Maturing. This market is in the growth phase, and more or less in the next 2 to 3 years, it will mature.
This is the attitude.
And as a responsible government, my friend was talking. Tax is not profit for the government. Who said tax is for the profit for the government? Tax is government will collect so that again it can spend on the people.
Right. Okay.
The haves will have to pay the tax.
Yeah, but you know, fine. But then the point is, it's not you anyway collect the highest road tax. I mean, Ashok Gowda come in. You know, for someone who is planning, I am only talking about the consumer point of view. And expert Chetan Shivar also spoke about it, that it's a bad decision. But I didn't want to take that at face value. I wanted to talk to those who make policies, you know. And Ashok, you know, imagine someone who wants to buy a 10 lakh car by taking loan or something. Today he must be sitting there, whether it is 5% or it is more than what it was last month. No. All I am saying is, it doesn't seem to be people-friendly policy at all. And he said, what rubbish, it's not because of guarantees. Then what is it? Ashok Gowda, your turn.
See, absolutely. Satya does not understand. It might be, they may tax it as a road tax, but when it's a petroleum vehicle or any kind of a vehicles, they do damage the roads and they do harm in environment, and that is why you're doing a road tax, and that is the policy of the road tax. Please read the document created in 1962. I forgotten the Motor Vehicle Act of 1962. The law points I've forgotten, but I can come back to you. But at the same time, electrical vehicles do not harm the pollution, do not harm any kind of an environment. Of course, yes, road part they use. But at the same time, what is the agenda of the government? It should be very futuristic. It should look into the future. Of course, the tax 259 crores.
What is the tax? What is the name of the tax that we have levied?
Why can't you not understand? You absolutely budget Brahma does not understand how to do the budget, how to do the policies. He does not understand. That is what we are trying to say.
Okay, you just hear me out. Okay, what is the name of the tax? It is called road tax. What is the meaning of road tax? That means every vehicle which uses the road has to pay road tax. We have given it 10-year this thing. Why I said take a bet is, when will you come to one conclusion that what decision this Karnataka government has taken is bad? That at the end of the year, when the sales of EV car sales come down and we don't earn any revenue, that is the day you can come and say what decision the Siddaramaiah government has taken is wrong. That is why I asked, take a bet. That still, in spite of this, we are taxing the haves. All those who are purchasing any car about 10 lakhs, they constitute only 1 or 2% of the total population. And yes, it is their right of the government to tax the haves so that we can give lot of schemes to the have-nots. And we are not taxing buses. We are not taxing commercial vehicles of anything more than 4 passenger seats. We are only taxing the luxury car segment.
But then also electric buses, no? Electric buses, Omnis, Jeeps, electric buses are also there, no? Which are private service.
They are exempted. Buses are exempted.
No.
Please check.
No, including cars. jeeps, omnibuses, and
vehicles.
private service vehicles running on electricity. It's all there.
No. My knowledge says that buses and all the commercial vehicles are exempted from
No,
this.
sir.
My
No,
knowledge. I might be
your
wrong.
knowledge could be
Please check.
fine. It could be fine,
Please check.
but that doesn't
Please
seem
check.
to be, you know, if you want to go on a socialist mode and saying that I'm taking it from the haves and giving it to have-nots, it means it's a very, which means that someone who was sitting and making this policy for years has really kind of done a bad job. It's a rethink.
How will you come
It's
to
a
that
rethink.
decision? You will come to
It's-
that decision after the year end, when the car sales really come down.
Yeah.
You take my word. Forget about bet. You take my word. Still, car sales, EV sales will be the highest
Let
in
us see.
Karnataka and Bangalore.
Yeah, that is,
take
you know,
my
what
word.
to do, sir. We are all consumers, sir. Tomorrow, if you sell milk for 20 rupees, half, 100 grams, I still have to buy it, sir. Come on. You know, Ashok Gowda, last word to
You
you.
can do a story every
See,
day.
Sudhaji,
Every day some prices will
if
go
at
up.
all,
You can
if
do
at
a
all
story
Sidramaya
every
was
day on
serious
every
of governing,
government.
he could have made all the government vehicles will be electrical vehicles. That should be the future of Karnataka. That should be the future of India. Not this way.
All right. On that note, thank you
Yes.
both.
One second, I'll ask you
Sure,
a question.
sure.
Tomorrow all the vehicles will become electric. Today Modi is earning lakhs of crores from the diesel and petrol tax. From where you will earn the money? You
Yeah,
tell me
you
now.
wanted a last word to
You
say this
you
about
answer me this
Narendra Modi.
question.
I don't know what this obsession is, but thank you both.
No,
Let's not ride in that car because we are talking about Karnataka. Thank you.
you get money to run your country if you don't tax people when every
Sure.
vehicle becomes
Yeah,
EV
but
is my question.
absolutely, that's logically right. But the point is that
Yeah.
we don't have logic here.